What is up, everybody? My name's Cole. I'm a part-time real estate investor, full-time legacy airline pilot, and a part-time military instructor pilot. Today, I'm going to be building upon my most popular video yet to date, which was why I live in an apartment, even though I own multiple millions of dollars worth of real estate. And so for today's video, I actually went and looked to find something that was similar to this. Just to put it in perspective, this is about 1,000 square foot apartment. It's got a pool, like a public pool, a gym. It's got a balcony. It's a one bed, one bath. And it's got what you can see behind me. This is literally the finishes of what it looks like all around the apartment. I was like, okay, let me go find something that's similar. I threw out single families, duplexes, four families, things that I didn't really think fit in with this property. This is really more like a condo, if anything. So I found a condo. The only condo I could find that was really similar was 1,100 square feet, so slightly larger, but still had all the same amenities. This place came in at a whopping $475,000, which just immediately to me screams that this is not going to be a good deal. But I'm going to go ahead and continue on. To put it in perspective, let's just start it off by saying I pay $1,900 a month-ish. I think it's about $2,000 really after all the fees are added up. $2,000 a month for this apartment here, right? This condo came in at $475,000. I got the numbers over here. $10,800 a year in property taxes, so almost $1,000 a month just for that. Then you've also got your condo dues, of course, because why wouldn't you have those? $908 a month for those. Insurance, which I budgeted for $100 a month. I don't know if that's accurate or not. Anybody that has a condo, throw it in the comments. I don't know if that's legit. I'd never had a condo, but I said $100 a month. That's about what I'm paying for single family, so that's probably got to be close. I could be way off, though. And then PMI. So I planned for a 10% down payment. I wanted to find some sort of middle ground because I didn't think it was realistic to say that you're not going to put any money down. And I also didn't think it was necessarily realistic to say you're going to put 30, 40, 50% down, right? So when all the numbers are added up, it comes in at $4,800 a month. And you had to put a $50,000 down payment on this property, right? $4,800 a month versus I'm paying, let's say, $2,000 a month. So $2,800 more per month. You multiply that throughout the year, that is an insane difference. And people are doing this all the time. And I just think it's crazy. I know that it sounds like contrarian to be like, oh, I'm living in an apartment when I know I have rentals, I have properties, I have money set aside that I could go buy something. But when I look at this stuff, I'm like, why would I do that? Literally the same exact quality of life. Literally nothing will change except for the fact that you're just shoveling over money to the banks and everybody else. Everybody's getting their cut out of you. And in return, you're literally getting no benefit as far as your quality of life goes, which is really the only metric that you can compare the two now, because obviously the numbers aren't even close. So now it's going into subjectives of which one is nicer, which one has a better quality of life. You can't tell me that this other place is worth that much more per month. Absolutely insane. And I know when I made that video, that's like what I believed in my heart, but I was like, you know what, let me go look at the market and see if maybe I'm off base here. Maybe I could achieve the same quality of life for maybe just a couple $100 more per month. That doesn't exist, not even close. When I'm looking at everything, I'm saying, okay, what would drive me to actually want to buy something right now? And I don't know if I have a good answer. The only answer I can come to is that people just want to say that they've achieved the American dream and that they own their own property. I own my own place. I'm a homeowner. And honestly, to me, I think it's just a scam because you're paying so much more money for literally nothing extra except for these subjective things where you can post on Instagram and say, I own a condo, or you can tell your friends and family that you own your own place. But really, you're just hamstringing yourself because you've tied up a bunch of money that could be used elsewhere, and you're committing all this extra money every month when you're not getting anything out of it except for just the fact that you can say you own a place. And I'm not even talking about investments. I'm not saying you should go take this extra money and go invest it somewhere, but you could use it to increase your quality of life. You could go on more trips. You could hang out with your family more. You could take more days off of work. All these things change how your life plays out, and people are just shoveling this stuff aside just so they can say they own a condo in Milwaukee, which nobody cares about, by the way. I just think it's pretty wild. Not to mention, now your flexibility for moving somewhere or changing your lifestyle is pretty low because now you own a condo. Condos are historically harder to sell. They take longer. And I'm all about buying the things that you want and living the way you want. But then at the same time, I'm looking at this and saying, literally nothing is going to improve if you do that for your life compared to what you could get out of renting a place. And so honestly, this has just entrenched me further into believing that renting might be the right call right now. If you're sitting there right now and you're on the fence of should I rent something, should I buy something? I've been renting for a while now. I don't like dealing with it. I would like to own my own place. I'm not trying to dissuade you from doing that. Obviously, people need to do what's best for them and their families. But at the same time, if you're in the middle ground and you're not really sure what to do, I honestly think that you can get a much better bang for your buck if you're renting. And this is specific to Milwaukee. It may not apply to every market, but I think in a lot of markets, there's something to be said for renting, because if I take the same cost, $4,800 a month to own that condo, that's the same as what I'm living in, and I went to look for a rental that was in that same price range, I looked, and you could go live in some really nice properties in Milwaukee, some penthouses, things like that, for that same cost. And so when you're juxtaposing the two, it's really hard for me to sell it to myself or sell it to anybody else. Hence why I have my real estate license, yet I don't do any sales, because how could I in good conscience go to somebody and say, yeah, you need to buy this place. Next year, this place is going to be worth so much more money. I can't do that. I just don't have that in me. And then also, like, people do say that. They say, okay, well, if you own your own place, at least you're going to benefit from the equity. But when you look at it, what you're paying every year in interest versus what you're getting every year in equity, they're probably a wash. If not, you're probably in the negative, because equity, when people see the number value from what they paid for something for what it's worth next year or the year after or 10 years from now, it's not really one for one because inflation exists, right? So the value of those dollars is not going to be the same. If you look at what people paid for stuff back in 1980 compared to now, yeah, the numbers are way higher now. But when you adjust it for inflation, the numbers look a little bit different. You can't just look from a cost basis just from what they paid in 1980 to what they paid now, because it's of course going to skew the numbers, right? It's not accounting for any inflation. And if you've been living a normal life in the United States, you've certainly noticed inflation. You felt it. It's changed your quality of life. You might be making more money than you ever made before, which is the case for me, yet your quality of life almost feels the same. It almost feels like nothing's changed. And I think that's something that a lot of people can empathize with. And this is just another example of it. Not only is this a byproduct of inflation, but this is also a byproduct of the fact that cities are now asking for more money than ever before. HOAs and condo associations are asking for more money than ever before. Insurance companies, everybody's asking for more money than they've ever asked for before. And it leads you to this place where renting, to me, is insane. It's an insane deal compared to owning this condo or owning any condo similar to it. And I love that condo lifestyle. I don't want to have to deal with a lawn. I don't have to worry about a roof leaking. Like, I love that. But I can get all those same things by renting. I think I'm going to stay in this kind of a situation unless I go buy a single family home. Single family homes are a little bit different, right? It's a totally different quality of life, totally different lifestyle. But as far as this is concerned, this is just affirmed to me that if the choice is between a condo and staying in my apartment, I might just go get a better apartment and still be saving money compared to having something that's exactly the same. Let me know what you're seeing in your market. This is Milwaukee, of course, so things are different in every market, and I'm not speaking for every market. I'm trying not to, at least. But I would be really curious to know what you guys are seeing out there. I know I've interacted with some people already in the comments that are looking at places like Florida and San Diego area, and some of these markets that are historically very cyclical, very hot and then very cold, or just very hot all the time. And I know that those prices are just absolutely nuts. I'm in the Midwest, though, so it's a little bit different. I'd be curious to know what other people are seeing in their specific markets, so let me know. And the last thing I want to say before I end for today is there's so many choices for you to spend your time on the internet. You could be on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You could be on Snapchat. You could be watching Netflix, Hulu. There are endless ways for you to spend your time on the internet. And if you're spending your time listening to me blabber about my apartment and condos and rentals, I couldn't be more appreciative of that, because there's literally unlimited ways for you to spend your time. Yet here you are. So I'm truly thankful for that. The people that have watched my videos all the way through left a comment that all means a ton to me. I really appreciate it. I'm going to keep making videos. Let me know what I can do to improve. Always trying to get better. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.